What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Calais. If you're new here, hola. Today I'm here to talk about why I became a flight attendant. So sorry, I just looked at myself. I thought I looked kind of cute. Sorry. So I'm talking about why I became a flight attendant today. Now, for those of you who don't know, my birthday is April 23rd. I am a Taurus, and I'm a very calculated person, first of all, and a very stagnant person. I stay in things way too long. Oh, she got away. So yeah, my first job, or not the first job because we're not going all the way back there. So let's just talk about the job that or the company I worked for before becoming a flight attendant. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to put it out there that it's a bad place, because it's not. But you ever had one of those jobs where you loved going to work, you love who you work to, it's not a bad commute, it's close, it was literally 7 minutes away from my home. This place was literally voted in one of America's top 100 places to work, and it was always in the top 20 since 2016. It was a really good company, but I hated what I did. I did not like going to work and doing my job. If I could go to work and boss people around, or go to work and just enjoy my team and being in that atmosphere, I would. It was great. But actually what I did every day was torture. I hated what I did. I wasn't the type of person that was made for it. I was a collector. So I would call people and be like, you got this to pay. Yeah, I'm one of those people that y'all hate that call and so when are you gonna make that payment? Oh, you don't have it right now? Who can you borrow from? Oh, you can't borrow it? We need something today. That was what I did. I felt like I was forcing people to pay and begging for money, and I didn't like it. And it just wasn't me. I couldn't be as tough as people want to. My monthly reviews were you are getting the money, but you're not saying what you need to say. You're not a direct enough. You're not doing this. You're not, I couldn't do that to that person. I can make people arrangements and help them, be current, but I couldn't force people to pay today. That was my issue pretty much. So, I hated what I did, but I stayed so long because it was the money was good, y'all. I was making really good money there. And I started when I was what? 20? And I was making, look, okay, because I don't want to I was making good enough money for a 20-year-old. I don't want to say exactly what I was making because it's just, I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I was making really good money because it was the starting pay was good. You got bonuses every month. You get profit sharing checks, profit sharing checks every 4 months, quarterly. It was good to be there. That's every 3 months. But it was nice. The pay was nice. I liked going to work. I loved my team. I cried like a baby when I left because I did not want to leave them. But I just knew this is not what I want to do. I cannot stay in this company. This is not my forever job, my career. So I changed. I'm one day I was just I always felt that way. And my New Year's resolutions and stuff like that was always I want to travel more. I want to get out. I want to find another job. I want to find a better job. I want to do more stuff that's fulfilling to me. But going there and having that set schedule, only working, well, the schedule was actually really flexible too. But having to be there for a certain amount of time and it's taking up so much of my week, it just did not feel like I was ever able to do it. I honestly was never able to. I mean, I could travel on the weekends, but it's only 3 days, I didn't feel like that was enough. Even though I did it, sometimes it didn't feel enough to me. So it always felt like this job was holding me back. It wasn't allowing me to prosper and continue to grow. So even though I was making all this stuff, I was not happy where I was at, and I felt like I wanted to do more. Then I saw this one guy, and I want to tell y'all this whole story. I'll probably say at the end of the video. Honestly, you can fast forward to the end of the video. I'll put a timestamp right there so you can see where it started, because the story is good. I love telling this story, but I feel so bad at the end because even though it's what got me into being a flight attendant, it did not have a happy ending for this person. At all. But we're still cool, we're still friends, and he's still trying to make it work. But I saw this guy on Instagram, and he posted his whole little journey, or he was posting his whole journey through becoming a flight attendant. And you know, I would see like him doing training, him hanging out with his friends, him doing his study and all this stuff. And it took me maybe like 2 months, because I'm a really calculated person. Like I'm going to study this profession before I get into it. So it took me like 2 months of like, the first month I was watching him do his thing, and his training was like 2 months long too. So I was watching him do it, and I'm like, that looks so fun. And then I started watching flight attendant videos on YouTube. We all know how that flight attendant YouTube rabbit hole go. You watch one video, it's just like next. Oh, they're going here. Oh, they're doing this. What's training like? What's, you know, the interview process like? How do I get into this? How do I get into that? Like I was literally watching those for that entire month, and I'm like, I think I want to do this. Like I really think I want to try this out. So for a month and a half, like it was non-stop flight attendant life for me, and people were getting tired of me talking about it. I watched videos non-stop. Some of the people I watched, if you're interested too, I used to watch The Pretty Passenger. I don't think she posts as much on YouTube anymore. I watched Ashley TV. I watched Taylor Travels. I was watching, I think that pretty much is it. And I was just watching all their videos about the interview process. I think her name's Daria. I believe her name is Daria. But I was watching a lot of different stuff about, like, it was the interview process in there. It was like them actually went on trips, going internationally, doing all this stuff. And I was like thinking about what I wanted to do. So when it came to like applying, I knew what I wanted, because this was the criteria I wanted for applying to a flight attendant job. They had to be based in Detroit, because I live in Detroit, and I was watching videos about people commuting and how commuting is a whole nother job and it was going to be difficult. I did not want to commute, so that already takes like almost half of the airlines, no, like 3/4 of the airlines out of the, you know, process, because it was like, I want to be based in Detroit. I don't want to go anywhere else. So when I applied, there was some that had like video interviews. I don't think I got some video interviews. My first interview was with, I don't know if I can say the companies. I feel like I can. My first interview was with SkyWest. No, my first interview was with GoJet. And this is what the guy was working at when he was training. I didn't even make it through the first round, y'all. I was so sad, and that discouraged me almost immediately. Like the first interview, you know, I think it was the fishbowl question, but it wasn't like a fishbowl. It was like 3 questions on the board, and it was like, pick one of these questions, get up, say your name, answer the question, say your name again, and sit down. Y'all, I did not make it even through the first round. I got into my car and I cried. If y'all don't know, I'm a very emotional person. So like I cried. I was so sad. I didn't tell anybody about the interview, because I knew if I didn't get it, they're gonna be like, oh, it's okay, try again. I didn't want to hear that, because I don't like people like coddling me. I want to hear like, go for your next one. Like, you're not about to keep being upset about this. You're gonna keep trying to find your next job. So that's what I did. Like, I let myself cry in the car, and then we moved on. So my second interview was with SkyWest. Cause I only applied to 4. I applied to the company I'm with now, Delta, SkyWest, and GoJet. So my second interview was with SkyWest. I aced that bad, baby. I know I'm good at interviews. That's the thing. I know I'm great in interviews. I have to talk to somebody one-on-one. We have to get that connection, because that's just like who I am. I know me as a person. I know I'm great. Even though my resume wasn't the best, I can talk it up like it ain't nothing. So I did get SkyWest, and that was like at the beginning of April. I was approved for SkyWest. I was hired in. I was supposed to start training on May 1st. I'm like, all right, yes, okay, whatever. I didn't get a call back from Delta. I didn't get an email or anything. I think that because they had so many people applications, and you know what? I actually did have a chance for a video interview with Delta maybe like a year ago, but I never like continue to do it, because I like where I am now. So I'm happy with where I am. So, you know, then one day I was just like emptying it's probably like April 25th, because I know it was after my birthday, which is April 23rd, but it wasn't May yet. So like April 25th, I was like not blocking, I was deleting my emails and I came across this acceptance email for open interviews, and I'm like, how did I not see this? Because that thing was like 20 days old, y'all. Like, I am so sorry. That thing was like 20 days old. I came across this and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm reading it and I'm like, the open interview is on the 31st. Now, if y'all wasn't listening before, my start date, I was supposed to go out and train for SkyWest, was May 1st or April 30th, not 31st. It was only 30 days. It's the last day of April, you know. And my training was supposed to be May 1st for SkyWest. When I tell y'all, I'm like, Jesus, I'm gonna pray to you first. Please, please, please get me into this job, because SkyWest is nice, but where I'm at now, I was making way more starting, my base salary, like everything was just better. Like I was working with actual people, because SkyWest, if you don't know, it's like a regional jet or a regional airline, so they only work with like 2 flight attendants or 1 flight attendant at a time. I could not do that. I would die. I would be so alone. So like SkyWest was nice, but where my company I'm with now is so much better. So like that training, I mean the interview day came and I had to be there at 5 a.m. and I was ready. Like I had everything printed, because you needed a certain amount of resumes, you needed like your passport, everything. I had everything ready to go, y'all, because I was ready. And I just knew, like, first I prayed and I felt better after praying, but when I woke up that day, I'm like, this is mine. This job is mine. I can feel it. So I went to the interview. I had to be there at 5. First, it was like the, you know, everybody's in a big old group. It was probably like maybe 300 people. They were only hiring for Detroit at the time too, which I seen, which is even better, because even with SkyWest, I could be based in Detroit, but I would have to start somewhere else. And I didn't want to commute if I did not have to. So like, they were only hiring for Detroit. So it was like the open interview at first, and everybody's in the group, they're talking, they're like, do you have any questions and all this stuff. And that went through. Then they split us up into colors. It was like red, green, and blue. I was red. And it was a fishbowl question. Y'all, I just feel like I felt so good. I felt like God was like really looking out for me, because my fishbowl question was off the chain. I will never forget. It was like, what makes you smile? And I'm telling y'all, I'm just like, my words is just like A1. So I'm like, I smile every day because I know that everything I've been through and everything I'm going through is for a reason, and I know I'm a stronger person for it. So nothing will ever bring me down. I will always be happy. Said it ain't no freaking good answer. Like, I was ready for that junk. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, I was super ready. I don't know why. Anyways, and then after that, you would split up again, and then you actually go into interviews with a supervisor and like another flight attendant, like an already flight attendant. And y'all would just talk, converse, and had this thing. And I was good. Like, they went and set us in this room, though. And then they called everybody. Like, they called, like, 7 people in my group. And they walked us outside. So I'm like, oh, no. Like, my heart. Because I just knew I, like, aced everything, y'all. I felt so good. They walked us outside. My heart sank. Like, oh, I could not breathe. And the lady was just talking. She was like, yeah, so, I mean, I just got to let you all know that unfortunately, you got to go to training on the 28th of May. And at first I'm like, oh. And then she said training. I'm like, oh my goodness, you got me, because I thought I was gonna die. Like, the pain of that rejection would have been enough to just make me quit. Even though I've only like applied and had, you know, had an interview to 2. That one, because I knew it had to be the one. It had to be the one. That would have like broken my heart. I would have cried and cried and cried. Thank God I got this interview. So, you know, that was at like 5. So after that happened, they sent us to another room where we do our paperwork, you do your drug test, you do all of that stuff. I didn't leave until like 7 o'clock that night. Like, that was pretty much it. Now, like, if y'all do want like the interview process, like everything in depth, definitely comment that down below. I can go through all of that stuff. If you want to know about training and stuff like that, comment it down below. I have no problem taking all these story times and stuff like that. But yeah, that was one of the greatest decisions of my life, and I'm happy I made it. I'm so happy. I'm a flight attendant. It was 2 years back on May 28th, and it doesn't even feel like it. Like, the time is flying by. I love my job. I love what I do, and I'm just happy that I'm still able to do it. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.